All right, you have walked into a hornet's nest here. What is going on? What can you tell us about what's happening in New Hartford right now?
Sure. Well, first of all, Bill, as you well know, these personnel issues can't be talked about anyways, right?
Right.
And there are many reasons for that, and that's unfortunate, right? I mean, it protects certain people, but it doesn't help build confidence in the school district, and I wish there was something I could do about that. And now, of course, even with pending litigation on top of it, it makes it even harder for us to talk about this specific incident.
Yeah.
But what I would like to talk about a little bit was how supportive I was of the students, and am, of their activism. Right? I believe that students need a place to express themselves. And a lot is going to be learned from this entire experience when we get to the end of it. But I hope one of them is that when issues in a school district take place, that they have my encouragement, and I want to hear their voice, and I want them to properly engage in civil disobedience and activism to make sure that we understand how they feel and to provide them a place to express themselves. Even yesterday, I took some time to meet with some of the students and, answer their questions to the extent that I could. Obviously, they are frustrated with the process, and like many folks in the community, are unhappy with the fact that not much can be said, but we're working very hard to resolve this issue, and we'll get to that point as soon as we can.
There was we had in our story on this. We did cover the fact that the students had a walkout, and there was a young lady, a student in New Hartford, who had a megaphone and was talking to the students in a rally fashion out behind the school. I noticed they were on school property. The other thing I noticed is your dean of students was right there, and I learned, and maybe you can confirm this, I was told that the goal was to allow the students to feel as if they could stand up for what they believe in. And in fact, your dean of students actually gave the megaphone to the students. The megaphone that the student was using was given to her by the dean of students. Is that true? And explain that just a little bit, if you could.
Well, so I wasn't actually there in the interest of full disclosure when this took place. But that is my understanding, and we do. We're not going to prevent students from expressing themselves in productive ways, right? They were out there, they had something to say, they wanted to say it, and I don't want to get in their way. I also don't want it to be, disruptive to the educational experience, but these are high school students, and they need to learn civics, and I think this is a lesson in civics. And what would we be saying as a school district? What would we be saying as teachers and educators to stifle the voices of young people when they have something to say? That's the opposite of the message that I'm trying to send to this community. We want to be an open, transparent. People say things to me all the time that, aren't supportive. It doesn't mean they don't have a right to say them or that I can't learn from what they're saying.
Yeah.
So I want that to be the atmosphere in the schools where I work.
A lot of people are saying, I know there are Facebook pages out there, and I'm sure you're hearing from people as well, that the school has dropped the ball legally on this situation. And I do know that this, it seems like the incident occurred before you were superintendent. Now the transition occurred, you're now superintendent. But what do you say to the people who say the New Hartford School District dropped the ball legally on this particular case?
Well, again, Bill, I would like to be able to say more than this. I don't believe that's the case at all. And we will work through the process, and it will be adjudicated. And then we will live with that outcome. But that's really, look, man, you know the drill.
I know
There's not much I could say.
And if I can, I almost feel at times when I'm asking questions, I know what your answer is going to be, that legally you cannot answer the questions that other people, parents, the questions that they have. You can't legally answer those questions. Period. You're in a tough position. We are hearing one side of this. We're hearing one, and I'm not trying to say the one side of the story isn't correct by any means. But remember, we are only hearing one side, and there are probably three sides to this story, two of which we're not able to hear right now.
Exactly. And like the wheels of justice turn very slowly, and it's absolutely frustrating. And, I think it's worth repeating that this doesn't help to build confidence in what we're doing at the schools, or, matter of fact, in any municipality when issues like this take place. I'm working on some sort of statement that I wish could have been prepared and ready to go by now, but hopefully by the end of the day, we'll have something to send out to the community, acknowledging, we know this is going on.
Yeah.
And so I really do appreciate the opportunity this morning to say at least what I can say.
Okay, I have a few people with questions, and I want to get them in here if we can. We're speaking with Dr. Kaz.
I do have to say I'm on a little bit of a short timeline. I'm actually in the parking lot of Waterville High School. We have we have a legislative breakfast there this morning with the county superintendent.
Okay, so do I have give me a number of minutes you can give me?
3.
3 minutes. All right. I love the word 3. I can do it. I can do it in 3. Let me go to Terry. Let me go to Terry quickly. Terry, you have a question for Dr. Tangora.
I do. I have a few children at the New Hartford School District, and they attended the meeting that you had in school yesterday, and I appreciate you taking the time to speak with them. I know that they said that you did mention in that meeting that Mr. Benson, the principal, had dropped the ball in reporting this issue, and that is of concern to me because, as Bill mentioned earlier, a swimmer who had the same complaint, she went to Mr. Benson because of a teacher that was also doing inappropriate things to her, and that was also swept under the rug, and it didn't take the proper course. They didn't follow the school policies the way they should. And my child also is on a group chat where other females have said they filed DASA complaints against the teacher that's at issue right now, Mr. Walters, and that those were swept under the rug and didn't follow the proper policy. So it seems as though New Hartford has trouble following its policies in these cases, which obviously puts students and families at a tremendous dangerous disadvantage if we take the proper course ourselves and file the report and nothing happens and we're only left with legal recourse.
Terry, I'm gonna because we're running out of time. I'm gonna have you hang up and listen to Dr. Tangora's answer. Okay.
Sure.
All right, Kaz, go ahead.
I did. I'm not going to get into what I had in conversations I had with the students. Like, I met with them, and I want that conversation between the two of us, the students and I. However, if people have complaints that currently or in the past that they feel haven't been properly handled, I want people to contact me and give me the opportunity to do what is necessary moving forward with these cases. And again, there will be an independent investigation of this entire process. Independent, looking back at every allegation, and there will be an outcome, and that outcome will be used to make any changes that are necessary going forward.
All right, but you want these people to contact you specifically.
Listen, if folks feel as if that they have made issued complaints in the past and they were not properly handled, they should contact my office, and we will get them all the paperwork that they need to sign. And again, an independent investigator will pick it up from there, so that there's no one from the district that so it can be done objectively through the eye of the community.
And I hate to add, this is my final question. Do you feel that?
Yeah, because I have. Yeah.
Do you feel the ball was dropped?
Bill, I can't honestly answer that question.
Okay, fair enough.
It seems to me, in this particular instance, it seems as if everything was properly adjudicated. Again, we will let the process work itself out.